Okay, we're at the Brown Farm. This is a feeder that we set up about 8 months ago, and there's the horses that the feeder's in. And she just bought a second 600 pounder that we just set up over there. I'm gonna go back a little bit later to show you about that one. That's in another pasture. They're letting the horses in. They're both going to be fed roughly about 12 o'clock. The horses are in this little paddock right here. These are older senior horses. The feeder should be going off pretty soon. Don't know exactly my time against her time, how things are set up on her feeder. But I'm going to let y'all look to see how the horses do with the feeder going off. That's been out here on it for 8 months. Now the new feeder, the feeder just went off and they're letting the horses in. This is their first time. They have never seen the feeder before. I'm gonna go back and look at this one in just a minute. But I'm gonna look at these horses, see how this feeder goes off. It may be off 20 seconds to 30 seconds or so. These horses heard the other feeder go off. They're going, mine's supposed to go off any second here. I'm used to it at 12. So we'll wait till this one hits off. And they're a little chalant. They're just waiting for the feeder. They should be used to it at the times it's supposed to go off here. Let me see, I'm gonna go back to this one over here. These horses are this is their first time on the feeder. I'm gonna go back and show you how we set it up. So they're gonna kind of mill around. We got panels set up on it. They're used to being fed with buckets over here, because this is her second 600-pound feeder here. It looks like she's gonna have maybe 4 horses in here. So here they come. They're going to bring them, introduce them to where the feed is. She's over there letting them know that there's feed. They're waiting on her to give them the feed. And she's kind of going out of the way with the bucket. Now she said they had 2 bossy horses over here that they don't really get along good. I don't know what time she fed them, so I don't know whether they're hungry right now. Here she comes. They may come when she's up there. Now we did have daylight savings time. I wonder if she changed the timer on this feeder over here. I said, what is this, big spaceship in our pasture? Alright, now they got them in there. Let's see if this one comes in there. And they got an older senior mare in here too, so she's a little timid to go around these other horses. Not used to having panels where they feed. Okay, they're all sitting there eating on it. They'll get used to this feeder like the other ones did too. And that's where they should be eating. She said they could not eat together. And here goes the other ones, and this is how this one just went off. And this is how these run to the feeder. They're all walking to it nice and slow like they should. They're used to being fed here. Okay, they all have their own specific spots. They have four senior horses in this paddock. And that's perfect. They got one in each section of the feeder. Got 4 panels and one in each section of the feeder. That's the way it should work. And this is what our feeder is about. The animals teach each other what area they're going to go in. She's feeding 4 times a day. And these horses would not eat together either back when she first put the feeder in there. Okay, now they're eating theirs. Let's go check with the other ones over here. Let's see how they're doing. Yeah, they're probably still a little full from their first feeding. Normally we tell the owners to not feed the horses when we're putting the feeder up, because what happens is that they're not hungry. Now I'm gonna come on over to this feeder and I'm gonna show you how it's put together, how we put the panels up and which way to put the panels and things like that, while they're sitting there looking around the feeder. Alright, now on the panels, you can see how I set them in here. Now this is just set right on the inside right here. Now when it comes to putting the T-posts up, you always put this area right here toward the panel itself, on the inside of the panel. It's on all of them. And you put it with just regular screw clamps. Okay. Horses, well, they didn't feed them that much. That's why they're not around here, because there ain't no more feed. They just fed a small amount. Alright, now you set this all solar. So there's the solar panel right there. It has a 12-volt battery. And it's a 8 milliamp battery on this thing, which is overkill for what we're using it for, but everything I've designed this feeder is overkill. I want this feeder to last 20 years minimum. You put the mats. This is how the mats look. If you look at the other video, you'll see that the mats have been there for almost 8 months, so they're still in place. They keep the horses from pawing around the feeder. And this set of horses have a pretty good pasture out here. There's their pasture out here, but they've had more rain than we've had. And this is the Feed Smart system. If you have any questions, wait till the end of the video here, and I'll scroll our phone number down. We set this feeder up for this lady, Miss Brown. We're in Waller, Texas. And that's it. Thank you for watching the video. This is the Feed Smart system in action, feeding 4 times a day. You will have to feed less than feeding twice a day. If you have 6 pounds feeding 2 horses, one scoop, you will have to probably go back to feeding 4 pounds to, you know, one pound, 1 pound, 1 pound, 1 pound per horse 4 times a day. They utilize eating the feed a lot better because they're eating smaller amounts and they don't waste. Thank you very much.